Hi there guys, and welcome to another episode of the Cover Zero Show with me, your host, Simon Conboy. Today, finishing up the NFC and the NFC West respectively. This episode will be a draft preview for the Seattle Seahawks, one of the NFC powerhouse franchises at this moment in time. So if you've not seen one of these episodes before, I will be going through the team's major needs with free agency effectively ending at this point, running through the first 3 rounds, giving my first round mock pick, and then offering up alternative players that might be available at that spot, and then rounds 2 and 3 doing the same, offering up players who should or will likely be considered if they're available by the franchise at that point in time. So for the Seattle Seahawks, much like the team I covered earlier on today, the LA Rams, I've got primary need O-line. Last year, Russell Wilson did a fantastic job, all things considered. Mobility saved him. He was under immense pressure. I think the line started to pick it up a bit towards the end of the year, but it's clear they need some more talent there. So both tackle and guard need to be addressed. I don't think this team will be able to progress against some of the better defenses they'll bump into in the playoffs without improving that aspect. The running game, was stifled as well as a result. Need to get better there, and I've got the defensive tackle spot. Could possibly expand this out to the whole defensive line. Now, whilst I think Bennett and Averill are both very good, very effective players still, they are getting older. I think bringing in a younger rotational guy they could develop would be an idea, although maybe not early on. But I do think they definitely need impact player on the interior, possibly a good free technique or someone that could develop into an effective free technique. I think that would really benefit this defensive group. So in the first round in my mock, I've currently got the Seahawks selecting Malik McDowell, Michigan State DT. Now, I've mentioned him a lot as a guy where the talent is clearly there to be a mid-first round pick. Flashes on tape, clearly got a good physical skill set. But there's a lot of question marks there, I think, with effort, possibly some character issues. I don't know. I've heard he interviewed badly at the Combine. I don't know a huge amount about that. But I think this is the kind of player I could see the Seahawks taking a risk on. I think picking that low in the first, the upside is pretty high on the player. He'd fill a need. I think he'd make a degree of sense. The exception, I think, if Forrest Lamp is there, I think they take him. I'm pretty sure he goes in the late teens, especially considering the lack of offensive linemen in the draft. They could possibly consider Dan Feeney. Yeah, this is a team that doesn't really seem to concern itself with what other teams, where people have players graded that be seen as a reach, I'm sure, by a lot of people, but I don't think that bothers Schneider and Carroll at all. I think Caleb Brantley from Florida, the other defensive tackle, he could be considered. Adoree Jackson's the kind of player I could see them also potentially looking at. We've heard Sherman's on the trade block. I still don't see anything happening there, but they could do with another corner. A guy with that sort of physical skill set as well could potentially develop into a fantastic player, and he'd have a lot of players around him to hopefully help him develop. They've done a fantastic job developing guys in that secondary, getting them to play well within that system. So he could make some sense also at the bottom of the round. I think those are really the only sort of players that I can see them taking, but this is a bit of an unpredictable team. Rounds 2 and 3, again, heavy emphasis on offensive linemen. I think David Sharp could be available if they want to grab a tackle at the end of round 2. I think he may be available, likely will. Pocic, who I've mentioned countless times, pretty much every team with interior line needs, I've mentioned him. But again, versatility is a wonderful skill to have, especially as you're not necessarily sure whether these guys will be able to contribute effectively from day one, but this guy at worst gives you some solid depth. Could possibly play centre in the future for a team, but I think he'd be a great selection. I've got them taking him in my round 2 mock at the moment. Carlos Watkins, if they've not selected DT in round 1, I think he'd be available at the end of round 2. Chris Wormley could potentially be. I think he'll be gone before here, but if he's available. Tyvis Bowser's a guy, I'm not sure where he's going to go, but he seems like the kind of player they might consider. Seems to be rising up draft boards. Potentially use him like they used to use Bruce Irvin when he was in Seattle. I think that'd certainly be a consideration. The top guards that I've mentioned, Dan Finney, I doubt he's available at this point. So can't see that happening. If they, Syracuse and Asiata guys that could be here, they could even be there at the end of round 3. Who knows? In my mock, there's a run on running backs that will happen in round 3. I didn't have too many being taken in round 2. It's one of them spots, there's so many backs, it could really alter my mock if there is a run on them. Danny Elfline, that's another guy I think they could consider in round 3. May need to get him in round 2 if they like him, because of course I don't know if they'd be able to rely on him being available for them. But those are the positions that I can see some of the players I foresee them looking at. They're in one of those nice advantageous positions where I think there's not a huge amount of needs. The receiving group is okay. Russell Wilson's great, obviously. Defensively, back 7 looks good. Still good enough at end at the minute, even though I do think they need to start looking to the future there. This is still a loaded roster. This is the sort of team that I think's in a prime position to trade down, try and trade up if there's a prospect they really like, because at the end of the day, it is a very talented roster at this point in time. What do you guys think? Do you agree with me? O-line needs to be priority number 1. I think it's the one thing in this roster that I look at and I worry about. Watching Russell Wilson last year, much credit to him. He had a tough job, but he spent a lot of games, where the passing game was just sabotaged by his lack of protection. Let me know what you guys think. What players you think the Seahawks should and could consider. You've got the comment section below. Find me on Twitter at Simon Conboy or the Cover Zero Facebook page. I'll do my absolute best to get back in touch with anyone who does get in contact. If you've enjoyed the show, please like, share, subscribe, check out the Patreon and all that good stuff. Be thoroughly appreciated. I've done some other series that might be of interest. I did my free agency reviews, got every team covered there. Franchise and draft review series for the last decade. I think that was a really good series. Definitely recommend checking that one out. And enjoy those. Some of the other stuff, Cover Who. I like the Cover Who series, one of my babies. But thank you very much for checking the show out. Pleasure as always. Thank you for your time. Have a great day and go Bucks.